Gang. This your hype fan, Judge. You to tune in to hype fan Eagles. Man, thanks for everybody been liking, following, subscribing. You already know. Like to show love before I kick off on the video and all that, but I'm not gonna wrap you up too much. As you see, I'm at the studio, about to grind in my other aspect, trying to push and gotta keep everything moving. So I'm trying to do these videos and also make this music. So y'all gonna hear that coming out soon. But yeah, man, I'm just getting right into it with this Philadelphia Eagles and Seattle Seahawks game that's coming up tomorrow. I forget what time it is. My bad for not even having that info, but yo, man, it should be one of those type of games that we gotta get back, yo, man. We gotta definitely show something. Before I start off, man, first and foremost, if you coming from different platforms, you can follow me right here on Twitter. That's what you come follow, stay update on the video. Stay tuned in. If you want to comment, say have your ideas and your input on what I'm talking about, you can follow me there, or you can stay tuned and follow me. Follow the YouTube channel. If you want to come in and talk about it, we on live and give me your opinions of what you feel about each game and all that. But yo, I ain't gonna wrap you up with too much. You can just follow that right there. But yeah, man, the Seattle Seahawks, yo, I mean they not as tough as versing in the 49ers and the Cowboys, but they still a team that you gotta come and you can't slip up on. Like you gotta really show that you prepared and you ready to play against Geno Smith and DK Metcalf. How what they are doing on the aspect on the offensive side. Like they defense is pretty good. But I'm worrying about us actually on our defensive side to actually start stopping them. You already saw how our defense did in the last two games. They teams were just scoring like it ain't nothing. So you already know how I feel about the defense. They gonna have to dial in something. The side gonna have to dial in something for our inexperienced players on the defense side. They really playing like they look kind of confused and they out of sync. They tackling has got to get way more better. I don't know how you could fix tackling. I don't know how you could get better in tackling after 1 or 2 weeks. So I guess it's just based on what team you play, how aggressive they play you. It depends on how well our tackling will be. But I just hoping they'll figure something out and we could get this tackling under control. And yeah, man, we could stop some plays behind the sticks, like instead of them getting too much positive yardage, especially third downs. We really got to get better and get this third down under control. Teams is converting third and long too many third and longs. It's crazy as when we get a stop on first and we get a stop on second, and it's crazy that I'm not confident that it's gonna be over. I'm not confident that the defense gonna get the offense off of the field based on the last couple of weeks of how we've been looking with third down defense. When after we get a first and second stop, I'm like, yo, man, hopefully we could get them off the field because, they be a lot of teams converting third and longs. It's cakework. It's no problem. They get 37, 39 and they's converting it I saw that. I saw Slay gonna be out, and that's gonna be even more of a problem. Slay haven't been like how he usually be, but he's still experienced aspect on that defense. I'm not gonna say that I feel like that will hurt us a little bit, for him being out. Next man up is not how it used to be. Our next man up is not really showing the potential and everything. So yeah, Bradbury gonna have to try to take the lead, and I'm kind of how he is and being skeptical on that part. But the side just gonna have to show dial up something for our defense. I feel like, our heroes on the defense side is the defensive line. Our pass rushers is the key on the defense. Dial up something for our pass rushers. Don't expect this secondary to do so much. Do not expect them to do so much, because they just out of sync. They just not there. They don't have the experience right now. We don't have that type of players. So what you need to do is dial up some defensive plays and schemes for our pass rushers could get in there. We could get in there with our pass rushers and stop some timing of these quarterbacks and of Geno Smith. Like we could actually, do enough on the defense. I don't think we're going to be all that well, but we could do enough on the defense to give our offense a chance. No, he's not going to let Slay win his job back. Kelly's gonna show Slay how to play DB. Slay gonna be when Hurts took his job. Yeah, I mean, like that's how it be. I mean, I feel you. I get what you're saying. But yo, like Slade just gotta I don't know, like I feel like the leadership in that when it comes to that aspect, they just not the same. Like, they just not doing what they usually do. Like, regardless of if they in there or not, like but they plays a big part no matter what. They've been challenged week after week and they have not fully come up to the challenge as that much. Yeah, I know. I that's how I feel too. But it's like I feel like when it comes to Slay, when it comes to mainly Slay, not so much Bradbury, but when it comes to Slay, I feel like they probably feel like it is if they get rid of him, if they get rid of Slay, it's like even though he's not the same, who's going to actually step up as enough of a spirit, but at the same time, I feel you. Like to me, it's like it's no loss. Like Woods we losing. If we get rid of him, it's not like we losing nothing big. Like like if somebody else come in unexperienced, then yeah, maybe they do better, maybe they not, but we're not really losing as that much because he's not really doing the same. Like a lot of plays, you see he be having a hard time dealing with these receivers. I see a lot of times, sometimes he got to do a little bit of contact. Now, I feel like a lot of the contacts don't be enough for penalties, but because a lot of times hands be moving between both the wide receivers and the defenders. But a lot of times I feel like he's got to do a little bit too much contact just to stop these the receivers. And sometimes playing aggressive like that works, but he be giving up a lot of penalties. Know why? Because a lot of times the receivers be working him, like, so he be costing a lot of penalties on crucial plays. Some penalties be understandable because you'd rather take a penalty than him getting scorched for a touchdown. But it's like, dog, like, you gotta really get better, or they gonna have to figure out and find a new part. But at this moment, it's too late. He's who we got, and he's more of a at this moment the more of an experienced players than these backups that coming in. So he's still an asset for this season that we need him to be in there because he's still experienced enough. But yeah, I feel you on him. Like, yeah, it's no lose. If we get rid of him, it's no loss. Like, that's how I look at it. I know a lot of people feel the same way, but Deshaun just gonna have to dial in something. He gonna have to dial in something for our defensive side. He gonna have to use our defensive linemen, our pass rushers as the main source for this defense. Dial in some plays to get our pass rushers in there, because if you dial in something so our secondary to hold these receivers, we just gonna continue to get scorched. That middle is gonna continue to be a problem. They're gonna continue to eat up that middle, and they're gonna be moving the chains on us, like, so we gotta put that pressure, get aggressive. We gotta control the line of scrimmage. We gotta, like, our lines for the past couple of weeks, our lines have not been looking like the line as much. I would say I give more leeway on our defensive pass rushes, like, because they be getting in there. It's just that our secondary don't hold enough for them to actually get to the quarterback enough. But our offensive line, man, have not been looking like the best offensive line for the past 2 to 3 weeks. Like, it's like, yo, when our offensive line is going, like, they've been getting pushed back. They've been getting, manhandled a little bit. Hurts been under pressure too much. Like, he been getting too many touches. He been getting hit, like, and he have to continue to escape. I mean, he a playmaker. How Hurts do, but sometimes that kind of causes a lot of issues because how these quarterbacks that have legs and how much they when they become a playmaker, sometimes they could do a little bit too much because they trying to stand and play when they need to just get the ball out their hands and, instead of making moving backwards, they even get even 2 yards is better than moving back, like, or just throw the ball out of bounds is better than taking a sack and getting back. Sometimes he do that, he hold the ball a little bit, but it's just that, our offensive line just not looking like how it used to be. They still good though. They still pretty sure. I just think we play some other good defensive linemen, dealing with the 49ers and the Cowboys. So it was a little challenge. And actually, then also, a lot of people speaking on dealing with the rest. We know playing multiple games and playing a lot of gauntlet games back to back, it get tiring. I feel like they were just a little bit too exhausted. So that's why you're seeing it. But yeah, like, we got a little bit of good enough rest, so our offensive line should show something dealing with the Seahawks and, to protect Jalen Hurts well. Now, I did see on the injury report that he's questionable, so I hope it ain't nothing too serious. I hope that he be in the game. But you know how questionable, even though if you play, that means it was something that they felt like was questionable about it. So that means he's going to be playing with somewhat of an injury a little bit. Might not be too big, but who knows? Like, so hopefully whatever the questionable was about, it doesn't affect his game plan, and he could come out and he can move, he could be loose, and he could extend plays like he usually do. I saw that, like you say, Slayer's gonna be out. I saw Reed Blankenship was questionable. Hopefully that he be out because we need somebody on that safety. We need, he's still a good of experienced player. So like, our injuries and people being out, it's just always been an issue. It's like year after year, we always dealing with some injuries type situation. But the difference between other years and now, at least the other years, we had good next man up. We had good, better rotation. I feel like the rotation this year is just not as the same, like especially on the defensive side. If you was following this podcast since the offseason, I spoke about rotations a lot. Like, it matters. Like, you can't go away from rotation. You always got to make sure you have a good rotation of no matter what, because when like what's going on, when your starters go out, you got to make sure the backups and the second streamers and third and all that could be able to, continue that momentum and continue to show like, basically they look like starters out there or whatever, like, but our rotation is not the same. So that's been kind of the issue going on to this season. But like, yo, man, it's just about how the coach is going to do it, what they're going to dial up. Like I said, Desai he got to control the line of scrimmage. He got to dial some plays for our pass rusher. Now going to the offense, which the main thing that I feel like is going to have to be, the offense going to have to take over the game. Like you can't rely on our defense. They out of sync a little bit. They struggling. The pass rushers can't get in there because of the secondary. So that being said, you gotta game play for this offense, man. Red zone, we gotta execute. Brian Johnson, yeah, he been taking a lot of heat this year, a lot of heat, and it's well deserved though. Like, for all the Eagles family, it's very well deserved of how he's been calling these plays from and he been getting a leeway from beginning of the season. People been, he been hearing excuses for him. Been hearing a lot of people like, oh, he's beginning. This is his first year at the Eagles of being a coach. He gotta learn. He gotta get into rhythm and all this other stuff, which I agree in the beginning of the season. But we going into week 15, man. Like, you should already found that identity. You should already been dialed up good enough. You should not be making the same type of mistakes. Now, getting better, that's something different. You always got to get better. You got to grow. But if you continue to making the same type of mistakes and calling the same type of plays, it's like, I would rather want to see growth than seeing the same problems. Like, we all, the run game been the situations from the beginning. Why is we still having this type of situation, the problem going into week 15? Like, that should already been understanding. Like, like the one thing me and my bro talked about going for this week, we talked about dealing with these Eagles trying to find their identity. And I kind of like thought about it, like, why is we trying to find our identity when we We already had our identity last season. If it's not broke, don't fix. If we already had an identity of being a run team and being and doing what we doing when it comes to that run game, opening up the RPOs, opening up a lot of stuff. Why is you going? If it worked last year, I understand it's a different offensive coordinator. But if you saw what we was doing, it's not like we got different players on the team. It's the same. The defensive side I can understand because you got different players. But on the offensive side, we kept mostly all our experienced players on the offensive side. So if it ain't broke, why not continue to do the same thing? I understand sometimes teams could pick up on it. But that's why you continue. If it's not broken or fixed, you continue it, but you just dial in some new stuff around it. You don't go away from it. Just dial in some new stuff around it. Like, the RPOs is still a thing with us. Why? Because we a run team. We got Swift in that back. That Swift in that backfield is doing well. He's a elusive and a hard enough running back, and he catches the passes. And everything. We got good wide receivers with AJ Brown, even though they're coming off with a tough game, with fumbles and drop passes. But you don't often see that with them. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, we got good passes. It hurts to run the ball. So continue the RPOs. I know a lot of people like, oh, we tired of it, but that's our identity. No, all you got to do is build around it. Like, come up with different schemes and come up with different things with it. Don't do the same type of RPOs like we did last year, but come up with different type of situation and schemes around it. That's our identity. That's what confused the defense to keep them off their toes of getting in there and getting our offensive lineman a good enough time to block for Jalen Hurts. But when you dropping back and doing shotguns and dropping back and passing it so many times, it's so standard and so dull. Like you're being predictable now. Like, he's just, it's like I always say when I come to Brian Johnson, like, dealing with his play calling, like I've been saying, like, I feel like he a momentum killer. He a drive killer. Like he'll start off good, but then he'll throw out a boneheaded play like that make us get into third and long. And now like it's more harder. Like, bro, like, yo, stop with these quarterback draws and these wide receiver screens. Like, it's just like I feel like that's all his playbook is, like just multiple screen plays and quarterback draws and dropbacks. Like screen plays, quarterback draws and dropbacks. Like, and the dropbacks is not even so much of it's like shotguns and single dropbacks. Like sometimes he'll motion the running back to be in a slot or something. Some of those plays work sometimes, but when you continue to doing that, those dropbacks and all that, is you're intentionally causing pressure on your quarterback. Like, you see, and especially I can understand if you're doing it and that's the part of the game plan. That's the part of the game. That's how the game is being controlled. I get it. But it's like he does things on the wrong time. Like, why is you dropping back when you're seeing your offensive line is struggling? Like, get the run game going. Like, get the ball out of your hands quick. Go get some RPOs, get some run game going on to dilute those pass rushes for Jalen Hurts. Like, it's like he's not reading the defense well. I don't know, get me wrong. Jalen Hurts got to protect the ball. The protection of the ball got to be way more better coming into this game. Like these turnovers, man, he got to get better on these turnovers. Like, you got to hold on to this ball. Like it just, that's how it's got to be. Breaking news: Darius Slay is out for the remainder of the season. The remainder of the season for ankle surgery. I didn't hear about the remainder. I saw that he was being out, but that's good news. I appreciate that, Blue City. But that's crazy, though. Like, if that's how it's gonna be, we've been dealing with all it now. That's even making my point even more valid. Like, he's been out. Our defense is getting weaker and weaker. Like, somebody gonna have to. Some of these rookies gonna have to show their thing, man. Somebody gonna have to step up on this secondary and show something, like, because if not, like, it just, we get in the playoffs, just get in the playoffs. It's gonna be a thing, man. Our offense gonna have to put up points, like, because when we get in the playoffs and we start versing these good offensive teams that got pretty good quarterbacks and wide receivers and everything, like, man, our defense gonna be looking like toddlers out there. Like, you already saw that that 49ers, the Cowboys game, they was doing us dirty too, but that 49ers game really sticked out because we was playing like kids. Like, they was like daddy versus kids. Like, they was just running all over us. Like, we couldn't tackle for nothing. Roby got stiffed on and pushed out of balance. Like, it was like they were just out there just playing schoolyard football over us. Like, yo, just like, it's like, yo, man, we really gotta get man up and we gotta get aggressive. We gotta start, our defense gotta start playing our grown man. Not so much, like I said, not so much about pass rushes, not so much our defensive linemen. They always play like grown men. But like, it's our secondary. They not playing like grown men out there. Like, it's like, yo, man, y'all gotta get aggressive. Y'all gotta stick to these receivers and do y'all thing. But like, on the offensive side, going back to there, man, we gotta dial in some schemes, man. Get the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands quick. Don't start off trying to do too much. Fill that defense out. Move the chains, get some positive yardage, get the run game going. Even if this is the main crucial thing, even if the run game is getting stopped in the beginning, even if they stopping it a little bit, and we're not getting up, we just getting 2 yards, we just getting 3 yards there, maybe 4 yards there, and they stopping it. Please do not go away from it. That's always been the issue. Don't go away from it. You say, example, you saw the Dolphins game, like I always talk about. We go back to the Dolphins game, like, no, both teams in the beginning were not getting no run game going on. Like, they was both struggling. We were struggling to get the run game going. The Dolphins were struggling to get the run game going. But the difference that I think that helped us win that game is the fact that we stuck to the run game. We didn't go away from it. We continue to run, because what that intentionally do, when you continue to run and stick to it, yeah, you're not getting as much of a positive yardage as you want, but it continue to keep the defense wondering. It continue to make them think like, oh, damn, like, we stopping them, but they continue to run. So now we got to continue to play the run, because we see that they not going away from it. So now we don't know exactly, is they still going to run or they going to pass? Then that slows them down. Like, no matter what, sooner or later, if they got to continue to play the run, sooner or later they're going to slip up. The defense going to slip up. They're not going to expect if you're going to pass it or whatever. Get the RPOs. Like, it's like, when teams start going one-dimensional, that's when the issues start going. Do not allow them make us one-dimensional. If they stop and run at first, all right, cool. But continue it. Now if it's getting too out of hand, then I understand sometimes you gotta find what works. But I feel like they go away from the run game sometimes a little bit too quick. What do you think about the Giants backup quarterback Tommy DeVito? I heard about him. I'm not even gonna front. I gotta look at some tapes and look at some highlights of him. I didn't really watch the game so much, but I heard about it. With the way he did. But I gotta look at some stuff. Like, I've been hearing some things about him. Like, it's I don't know what you expect, what you think about how he's doing. Like, but I gotta look at so much. I have not really pay attention dealing with the Giants to see that as much because of what they've been doing. But I've been hearing the things about it and stuff, like, but like but yeah, yo, we gotta dial in some on this offense. Like, we gotta move the chains. The red zone execution. Oh my God, yo, our red zone plays, it's like, yo, what is going on? It's like when we march down when the times that we do march down the field, it's just like, when you get to the red zone, it's like his playbook just go out the window. It's like, I'm here, but damn, what else to do now? It's like he start playing Madden out there, like, like, yo, man, he get to the play, he get to the red zone, and if we can't run it, he'll try to run it, and if we get stopped with the run game in the red zone, it's like he'll try to throw a quarterback draw or a screen, a little pass to the outside, like, like, yo, dial in something, like, no, get something, like some rotations or something going on to confuse the defense, like, get something dialed in, or yards, or Jalen Hurts rolling out, or we get some type of slants or something, like dialing some type of plays to get these plays going on better in the red zones. Like, you know, he gotta start scheming this stuff. Yeah, you don't want to just be a scheme team and just scheming. So sometimes you gotta scheme. Like, you know, you saw when the 49ers did when we were stopping them, they went into their scheme. They start rotating people, going around and moving, you know, trying to figure out if the defense is going to move with the defender, with the wide receiver or the running back. All right, cool. That's how you'll know if it's a man play or coverage play. You know, get some schemes and get something going on. Like, they doing jet sweeps on us. We ain't doing no jet sweeps. We ain't really doing nothing. Like, it's like, what is our playbook is going on? Like, it's like, yo, like, what's actually happening with or with this? Like, you know, so yo, man, we have to gotta get these. We gotta open up our playbook when we get to this red zone, because we can't allow Jake Elliott to try to be superhero of this game. Like, yo, we can't march down the field and kicking field goals. Like, that's score when we get down there. Like, you know, like that's figure something out and continue to answer, because if they get the ball out first and Geno Smith and they march down the field and they score, it's now we have to score. We gotta march down the field and answer and score again. We can't march down and be 7-3 and then they end up on our defense again. They get to 14. We march downfield. Now it's 14-6, and now like we playing from behind. Like, I'm tired of this playing from behind. Yes, we did very well of adjusting on a second, because I think we still good as second half team. Like, but yo, we can't live in that. Like, you know, we gotta come off with a quick start. Like, we gotta come off with a quick start. If we're not gonna be ahead of the Seattle Seahawks, at least we right there and we are scoring in the first half. Like, you know, our offense gotta take control. We can't rely on our defense. Our offense is gonna have to score. Turnovers gonna have to stop. Hurts gonna have to protect that ball. He can't. If you're going to run, because I understand you're a running back quarterback, slide or tuck it like a tight end. When you see they coming, tuck that ball, hold it. Don't be running like this, because you know these teams is going to try to swipe the ball out of your head. When you get in a couple of runs and you see defenders getting there, tuck the ball or take a slide. I understand sometimes you try to get extra yardage, and if that's what your head is going to be, but you should always slide. But I just say that's what your head at. Oh, I'm going to try to get some more yardage. Tuck it. Grab, hold on to the ball, tuck it. Don't just try to get extra yardage and just having one hand on the ball, bro. Like, these teams is aggressive. They playing like grown men out there. They gonna try to knock that ball out your hands. Tuck it, man. Get down. Like that's why I'm be understanding. Like, it's week 15. Like, you should already know these type of situations. But I think in the heat of the moment, sometimes they just lose it a little bit of focusness. Like, but like, yo, protect the ball. No drop passes. No, AJ Brown, they're going to have to make up and come on this game, and no drop passes, no fumbles. They're going to have to make up, which I believe, because I don't continue to see them doing that consistently, being that back to back. But they're going to have to show this game. Like, you know, the leaders is not too worried about Dallas Goedert, not so much worried about him. But yeah, he going to have to continue to do his thing, and like, yo, get Swift intact in this game. Get him active, like that. Get him the ball, like, you know. Gainwell be having some good game. You know, I hear a lot of things about people talking about Rashawn Penny. You know, I feel like we should start actually, because I'm not hearing too much about him. We should actually start, because he's a bigger back, and I feel like we got to start utilizing these bigger backs now, because of our offensive line and how they have been looking a little bit, you know, these couple of weeks. Like, you know, so I think we should start getting him some reps and get him ready, you know, dealing with the playoffs, to have these bigger backs coming in. I'm not saying that he get most of the touches, most of the active, but, you know, control depends on how the game is played and how the momentum is at the time. You know, I feel like we should give some of the reps to that, you know, but yo, get this run game, get Swift more active. Like, you know, I know how a lot of people feel dealing with Gainwell, but like, you know, you gotta put him in, because you can't continue to wear Swift down. You know, but I feel like sometimes I do agree that they start putting Gainwell in at the wrong time. You know, Swift is eating, and next thing you know, they take him out and then put Gainwell in. Like, bro, let him continue to eat. He's on fire. He got the momentum. He got his flow. Continue to let him eat. Like, you know, you're gonna take him out, and then put Gainwell in. Gainwell get a little bit good enough yardage, not that as much, but then you put Swift back. Now he that momentum kind of a little bit disrupted, and it's not the same. Like yo, like I feel like they gotta stop doing. I think sometimes with the running back, they rotate a little bit too much. They put Boston Scott in at a certain time. I feel like they rotate a little bit too much. I understand you want to get these guys they stats and get them enough time to eat. But like, yo, man, it's about the game. Like, they're gonna get this if that's what happens. But if you seeing that Swift is eating and Swift is on a roll, like, yo, don't, like, yo, it is what it is. Like, let him continue. If other guys, the other running backs is not really getting the ball as much as why? Because Swift is doing his thing and it's a whole team collective. Like, so continue to feed that boy that ball. Continue to run the game, even if they stopping in that first. Continue it. Do not go one-dimensional. Stop with all these too many dropbacks. Get the RPOs. That's what type of team we are. Get it back going on. But don't get me wrong. I'm not saying just go out do RPOs. You gotta fill the defense out. That's why you come up and get positive yardage, get a little bit of running game going on, and then when you fill the defense out and you getting wondering which your next move, then you could start getting the RPOs inside your playbook. Start dialing some RPOs and getting it work. Like, we gotta move the change. Like, if we're not getting points for style points. We're not getting nobody ain't looking for style points. If we are dinking and dunking and we moving the chains and we getting 5 yards first down, we moving the chains and we are controlling the time of possession and we marching down the field. Yeah, we're not getting big plays, but at least we're filling the defense out and we are marching down the field and we are scoring and executing on the red zone. Nobody, like, a lot of teams want to throw that, oh man, that game wasn't even all that, it was a boring game. But then we won though. It don't matter. Like, when did win not becoming an important thing? Like, we used to say that a lot of times. When did winning not become an important thing? Like, yo, we don't need to do too much. Move the chains. Just make sure third down is not third and long, and continue third down be third and short. That's all that matters. If we could continue to make sure third down is third and short, we could stay above the sticks and we could execute. But it's gonna come down. Even if we are doing that, it's always gonna come down to the red zone. Like, we gotta execute. We gotta score. No kicking field goals, man. We gotta execute. So, Brian Johnson, man, I'm trying to have high hopes for you, but you kind of frustrating me. And you frustrating a lot of your fans. Nick had to say that he's not going away from him calling plays, and if that's your answer, Nick, then now you're a part of it. Now I was giving you a benefit of the doubt because I was like, oh, I always believed that it wasn't you that really called plays. Like, a lot of people felt like, oh, Nick is the one that called it. I'm like, nah, why would Nick be you pay these coaches to do their job? Like, why I'm gonna pay you when I'm doing your job? Like, it just doesn't make excuse. You getting free money? No, like, we are paying these coaches to do their job. They have to do their job so we know if they're well enough. If they slipping up and they're not doing well, then that's the point. Now, I understand when you start seeing getting out of hand and now you got to take control. Now I get it at this point. But in the beginning of the season, oh, Nick ain't calling it. Brian Johnson is not the one that's calling plays. It's Nick. How? It's the beginning of the season. We only in weeks 5 and 6 and 7. How is Nick is the one calling the plays? We paid these coaches. So we wasted money. You think they're going to waste money and not see if these coaches going to live up to it? No, like, we paid them to do their job. They was the one calling the plays. Brian Johnson was inconsistent. He was the one. Now it comes to the point. Now the discussion comes. Now you've seen enough. You've seen enough. We're on week 15. What do you do now? You're going to take over or you're not? Now that's where the head coaches come in. Okay, now I got to take over. Now, whatever, I got to do something. But I heard that he felt like he's still confident in Brian Johnson. So that was his decision as a head coach. Now that's what comes in play. If Brian Johnson continue the same boneheadedness, then I gotta put my foot down on Nick Sirianni, because I'm like, bro, you gotta do something. You either gotta take over or y'all gotta figure something out with dealing with this guy. Like, so I'm trying to add hopes. I'm trying to stick in with him, but he's not showing well enough of what he do. Now, I'm gonna say this before I get off. I do give that last game dealing with the Cowboys, I give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt on the aspect of it was a lot of fumbles and a lot of drop passes. So he get a little bit a benefit of the doubt, but he wasn't making it better though. Because even though with those drop passes and a lot of those fumbles, he was still throwing out a lot of iffy plays. It was some plays that would have been good that he threw out, but there was a lot of iffy plays that was not making it better either. So as a coach and as a quarterback, the same way. When you're seeing you see your team is struggling a little bit, you cannot make things worse. That's what make you a leadership. That's what make a quarterback a leadership, where they're not the ones that making it worse, and it's everybody else that's being the issues or whatever. The coaches too. They're not the one that's making it worse. Everybody else is, but that's what will make you elite, and that's what make you separate from everybody else. So I feel like he wasn't making it any better, but I'm gonna give him a benefit of the doubt because it was a lot of fumbles, a lot of turnovers, and it was a lot of drop passes. But overall, though, that one game that I'm giving him a benefit of the doubt, overall doesn't speak of what he's been doing. He have to show some in this Seahawks Seattle game. He have to show something different. He got to come correct. And he got to dial in something, man. Don't come off with these quarterback draws and these wide receiver screens, man. They are on that, especially if you see our defense, our offensive lineman is not holding up well, and they getting pushed back a little bit. Then you cannot do that. You got to open up. You got to get the running game going, get the RPOs, slow them down enough, and get your feel on, so. We got to start doing that, and we got to, man, just control the line of scrimmage in the time of possession. No rushing. Don't need to force things down. We ain't trying to look pretty. We're just trying to win. Win is the most important thing. Stay above the sticks, move the chains, get positive yards, get convert on first down, and we got to score. Because like I said before I end, our defensive line, I don't feel that's going to. Not defensive line, excuse me. Our defensive side dealing with our secondary is going. I don't know if they're gonna do enough. So I feel like Seahawks is going to score. Geno Smith and DK Metcalf and the boys, they gonna do their thing. I don't see our defense holding them up well. They're going to score just because they're aggressive and our tackling and our defensive side, our secondary is not playing aggressive enough. So. I feel like they're gonna score, but I feel like if our defense is doing good enough to stop them enough, our offense could take control and it could be a high. We gonna have to, I feel like this season we gotta continue the high scoring team. Our offense gotta be continued because I think we're in sixth place of offense scoring. I believe the last time I checked, sixth place. So that's not, top 5 or nothing, but that's still up there. That's still good enough. And we got to continue scoring high scores. At least we got to put up at least 30 points, at least 28 to 30 points every game to make sure we win because we can't rely on our defense to stop these teams. So often that means if we got to put up that much points, we got to execute on a red zone. If we got to kick a field goal, cool. 1, maybe 2 field goals in a game is not as bad, but we kicking multiple field goals, man, we got to stop that. So dial up some. We got to stop being predictable. Can't go being one-dimensional. The offense going to have to just show some, man. No turnovers, Jalen Hurts, hopefully you're healthy enough. Like I say, I saw that you was questionable. Questionable don't always mean you're going to be out of the game, but it always put the thought of, okay, what is really wrong? Why is he questionable? Is something going on? Is it that knee again? I believe the knee or the leg, but he had an issue. I think it was the knee. Is that knee is still becoming an issue? What's going on? So hopefully he be good. Hopefully tomorrow I don't look up on the update that saying that he's gonna be out because man, I know a lot of things. I see people looking at Mariota feeling like he could come in, he could do his thing. But when you've been sitting for all the way until week 15, it kind of make things hard. Nick Foles did it, but everybody know the difference between Nick Foles that game where he was but can Mariota do it if that would happen? But we don't want to think negative. Hopefully it hurts. He be good. He be in this game. And man, we gotta win out. We gotta win out. We gotta win these couple of games. If we move past Seattle, we good. Because I'm not really too worried about the Giants. The Cardinals, not really too worried about them. I believe Kyler Murray, he probably gonna be playing most likely. I'm not sure, but we should get that game. We should get the last 3 games. The Seattle Seahawks game, we just gotta be focused, y'all. But that's how I feel. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree. You know, it's all love. Like if you disagree, it's all right. You know, it's all about opinions. It's all about sportsmanship, and everything. So just tell me if you disagree. Tell me you're not. I'm gonna go ahead and give you my score prediction of what I feel like the end of the score gonna be. You know, I ain't gonna lie. To the couple of because these 2 last weeks, I've been kind of off. I think 2 to 3 weeks, I've been off a little score prediction because y'all, man, who would known that we was gonna get blown out and get torched dealing with the 49ers Cowboys. Now, I know a lot of the people going to be like, oh, we already know. I know a lot of 49ers fans going to be bragging like, oh, we already know how y'all didn't know. You know, like, but I knew it could have been a chance that we could have lost, but getting blown out like we did, I never would have thought that. So my score prediction was been a little off lately because NFL is unpredictable. You know, anything be happening, like, you know, but I'm still gonna give you my thoughts of what I feel like, you know, this game gonna be. If this look, mind you, this is basically going off of if we execute the way that I'm talking about. You know, not saying that if we execute the way I'm talking about, I feel like the score should at least be like 34 to 28 or 24. I would say like 34 to 28 or 24 to score. I'm not. I know Seattle going to score. I know we're not going to stop on our defensive side, but I feel like our defense should be doing enough to keep them under the sticks. So they will score at least like 20-something points. It's just between if it's going to be close to 30 or a little bit close to 20, you know. But I feel like it's going to be like 24, close, probably 28 or whatever. A close enough game. We might go win based on a touchdown and the field goal, probably like 10 points, 7 to 10. I don't see no more than 10 points. We'll probably win based on 7 to 10 points, and I feel like that's how it's gonna be. Now, hopefully they don't prove me wrong. Hopefully this defense, because you know our team, you know, they just making me look like my score prediction been a little off this late because they just been doing, I don't know what been happening, like, you know, but that's my score prediction. You know, like 34 to 24 or 20, 27 or 28 or something. That's how I feel like the score going to be. Let me know and you jot down in the comments if you feel the same way. If you feel like there's going to be another team, if you feel like we're going to blow them out, or if you feel like we're going to get blown out, or you feel like it's going to be a good defense or offensive game. You know, I feel like it's going to be an offensive game. I don't feel like it's going to be a defensive game because these two offenses feel like they're pretty good. So feel like it's going to be an offensive game. Should be a pretty good enough game. And like, yo, we going to see. Come to tomorrow. Try to make another video tomorrow, you know, but just stay tuned. Me and my boys, we do this video. You know, we're going to give you the updates and everything. Hopefully the injuries be a little bit more better. And, yo, that's where it is. I got to get back in because I'm about to be in the studio. You already know that's when I'm in. So, you know, on the other note, I do music. So I'm going to hear that and then, you know, later down the line, you know, when stuff drop, I keep you updated with that. So, yo, I'm going to get back into this booth. And then I'm going to come up. Stay tuned with another podcast, man. Continue to like, continue to follow, continue to subscribe. You know, that's the YouTube channel. You know, you want to stay update and all that. So, yo, this your boy Hyphen Jers. Thanks for tuning in to Hyphen Eagles. You already know, man. Bird Gang, Bird Nation.